Alright guys, welcome to the channel. My name's Ruben and today I am at my friend Tim's house in Christchurch and I've just picked up this $500 GT. I first saw this car on Facebook Marketplace. Had beautifully optioned interior. So it has the full wood grain trim interior from the Japanese catalogues. I messaged the guy, asked him how much he wanted for it, and he said about $500. So I said, yep, deal. And then he turned around and he said, why don't you come up and just grab the whole car? He was pretty much sick of dealing with it. We got to chatting. Turns out this car has been off the road for quite a few years. Its registration lapsed in 2016. He showed me a video of it running though, running from a fuel pump in a bucket. And so he knew it was fuel pump related, but he said he didn't have the mechanical inclination to get it fixed. So I knew the engine was fine, and so I thought, well, maybe I should drive it back from Christchurch. For your information, Christchurch is about 500 k's from home, so a bit of a mission. But I had a fair idea of what was wrong with the car, and we went to my mate's farm and grabbed a fuel pump out of a 250T, and I thought, well, if I just bring up the entire fuel pump and carrier, a couple of fuel filters, because you can almost guarantee the tank would be rusty after sitting for that long, a couple of relays, fuel pump relay just in case it's something like that, and the full toolkit, and then we headed on up to Christchurch. Bit of a road trip. We got to the guy's place. We offered to get it running off the bucket and the fuel pump again, but we decided against that. I thought, oh, I'll just chuck the fuel pump in and we'll see how it goes. And here's some clip of us getting it going. Is there.
This now is check oil and coolant, and
yeah,
what have we got left?
Well, it has oil. There's lots of oil. Should be right. I don't see any like moisture or anything on the bottom there.
Has it got
wow.
green?
Incredible.
Whoa.
Alright. I guess we'll try to start it.
That's where
you all stand over very far away.
Yeah, actually I can stay back.
So it's just sort of drying out over years and years.
Nope. Probably the vacuum. Alright, so we've got prime.
Fresh go juice.
Oh.
Hit fuel pressure. Oh, I do want to see what comes out of this.
It's a bit. Oh yeah, that's brown.
It's not terribly murky, rusty.
Yeah, but it's still old fuel.
Yeah.
It's trying. We found a mystery fuse for an alarm, I think.
Yeah, must be.
How would that have flicked on though?
Well, I found a remote. They can just...
I'll give it another shot.
Hey! She's trying. Woo! Yes. Oh, purrs. Look at that idle. Smells like varnish. How many check engine codes do we have? I don't think any.
That's nice.
Oh, I'm thankful that fuse did it.
Just go straight, go back the way we came, then left to the roundabout.
Yeah. Might need a wheel at Oh god, it's so soft. It's like, oh, over the bumps.
I guess we've got some tired struts.
Land yacht status achieved. So we managed to get it running. Thankfully it was just the fuel pump and that little random fuse that we found in the immobiliser. She actually drives great, but the seat will tilt back under acceleration, so definitely need to address that, as well as putting the new fuel tank in sooner than later. Our next port of call was our friend's workshop, Specialised Auto Services, to pick up Camillo's car. Whilst there, we snuck the car on the hoist and had a little cheeky check of the underbody. As you can see, there's a bit of rust. Well, by NZ standards a fair bit. By US standards is pretty mint though. And I also wanted to check for play in the ball joints, steering and whatnot. Also wanted to check the brake lines for dry rot, which thankfully there was none. So after getting her off the hoist, we got her home to Tim's place. But had to leave it there, as the next day we had the track day, which was the original reason for us to come up to Christchurch in the first place. Flatnats 2022 was a great success. We had actually a really good turnout, especially for the first gens. I think this was the most we had at any Flatnats. This was to be the third time taking my BC out on track, with its 300,000k old EJ25D. I just installed a Link knock light the week prior to tweak my tune, and so I had the car running on 95 RON, or known as 91 to the Americans watching. All went well for the first session out, but on the second session the knock light was starting to go off at multiple points in the rev range under full open throttle. So I came into the pits at the end of the session and took a few degrees of timing out, thinking it must just be because the engine was nice and hot. And on the third session it was getting worse in spite of the timing coming out. So before I could even figure out what was up, she let go in a rather spectacular fashion. I wish I had audio for this because that was quite a noise. So I guess I now had a side quest to complete before getting on with the main quest. Unbelievably, I was able to track down a replacement block within an hour, and so we got the car towed back to Specialised Auto Services to tear into it. Which just so happened to be where the Dyno Day was being held that evening. Now, I was a little preoccupied with getting this engine swap done to do any filming myself, as the lads who ran the shop wanted to be wrapped up with the Dyno Day by 8 PM. But my good friend Dave, the potato, was on hand to get some footage for us.
Scrap.
Only 1 valve's messed up though.
Everyone says that 2.5 is reliable.
Oil in it, so it'll tip out all over the bench. This is why you run on 100 octane and not 95.
100 octane? Nah, it's all good. So Ruben, do you want to just explain to me, just real quickly, what happened?
Race car make bad noise.
Okay.
Have you ever, the sound of, tipping gravel off the back of a truck? Yeah, that noise, but from the engine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do now? What's your plan of action?
That stage 4 goes in there.
Okay. So what's this? Explain this to the audience. What we're doing here today.
Richard's kindly sold me a replacement EJ25. Oh, I'm going facelift as well. Nice.
So you're moving up in the world.
Moving up in the world.
Moving up. There's nowhere to go but up.
Yeah. And I need to be finished by the end of the barbecue. So
Into the barbecue. Well, time's on.
gotta get cracking.
We've got lots of sausages to power you. It's all good.
I'll wheel this away. What kind of squeeze? Did you get a look at the?
Oh yeah, we had a little squiz, but
Yeah.
you can explain it to us in your end words. Exactly what you accomplished today.
Just don't tip it up too far because it's...
Total engine destruction. I'm quite proud of that work actually. Quite proud.
I'd be quite proud of it too.
Yeah.
It was like that. It doesn't look that great in the other side either.
I think I should be able to reuse this.
Yeah.
Should be good. Might need to sleeve the block though.
Yeah, well I think one size over and it might go.
What size?
What's a sleeve between friends? It's fine.
So for the second time of the weekend, we got a car running. Pretty good. We went off and did a couple of laps around the block, cleared all the oil out of the exhaust, and then headed home to Tim's place to do a service on the GT the next morning. Oh, nice, Tim.
Did it fall down already?
It's straight into there.
Oh, that's so funny.
Nice. Trans cooler lines.
Maybe that's as far as you're getting.
That's as far as it's going. That looks fresh. That looks nice and fresh though. Yeah.
Perfect.
I don't see any dry rot on that. No discoloration. No,
And it's a nice dark black as well.
Yeah,
It's not like white.
I'm calling that pretty fresh. So the next morning we had just enough time to give the car a quick hose down before starting on our journey down to Queenstown. On the way out of town we made a quick stop off at Pick Apart, which is a junkyard where you pull your own parts. We had a little look around for some electric seats for first gen or second gen. They're both the same motor. Couldn't find any. There was only 2 second gens there and they were both manual seats. We also wanted to go to the fuel pump, couldn't get one of those either, so we just headed on out of there. Well, that certainly was a weekend, but as you can see, I got both cars home. Perfect result. Pretty happy with how it went. The Burgundy GT, what a little sweetheart. That thing was a joy to drive, so smooth. It was a shame I didn't get to get into secondary turbo. Unable to, thanks to that vacuum line. I could have fixed it at many points during the weekend, but I just did not have time. So I managed to drive 500 kilometres on primary turbo alone. Jobs we've got coming up next. First and foremost, we've got to change that fuel tank. Secondly, the driver's seat electric motors. I don't think I'm going to be able to find replacements. We were unable to get replacements at the pick apart at the junkyard, so I'm probably going to have to pull them out, drill the holes that strip out, and retap, helical them. So that's a fun job. Couple of other things, cosmetic stuff. I think if this thing's going to be, if I want to actually get what this car's worth, we're going to have to do panel and paint on the bumper, bonnet, hood, right front fender, and the back bumper as well. So the interior, she's pretty mint. It's basically just tidy a couple of things up. We're going to find out more as we go along, and there's going to be quite a few videos coming out for this little thing, so super excited for that. As you can see with the BC as well, a little track weapon managed to make it home under its own power after that spectacular failure. Again, I could not have asked for better result for that. Managing to find an engine within an hour of blowing it up, securing the engine, securing a workshop to work on it, which just happened to be the venue that essentially the track day after party was being held, Dyno Day at Specialised Auto Services in Christchurch. Shout out to those guys, you absolute legends. And yeah, what a fun way to spend the evening. I think it's fun. Maybe most people might not. But pulling that engine with an audience, getting everyone's reaction when I pull that head off, I'm sorry I couldn't get that on film. And yeah, getting this whole kill back up and running that evening, what a result. Definitely need to do a bit more work though. She was a bit slapdash, so probably need new intake manifold gaskets. Probably need to do the throttle body gasket. There's a thread in there which was pretty gnarly as well. I'm going to have to fix that. All of the exhaust gaskets, just all of them. These up pipe, down pipe setups are really prone to leaking. They've just got the 2-bolt flange gaskets at multiple points along the way. They were already being held together with old dried up silicon, so got to address that too. Probably needs a new timing kit. It was a bit made up of old parts, so she's due. Definitely need to tune it. The new engine that went in was the facelift EJ25D from the JDM, so 10.7 to 1 compression. Is this one, the one that blew up was the pre-facelift, the hydraulic motor, which was only 9.7 to 1 compression. So I had to pull a bit of timer back, dump a bit more fuel in it, so the AFR's all over the place. This thing definitely needs a tune. Wideband in it's broken, so got to get a new one of those. Great. But other than that, yeah, I should expect to see a couple of videos for this thing too. All in all, super stoked. So cool to get these back under their own power and on time. I couldn't be happy with that weekend. That was just perfect. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.